Jake Paul has recently announced his return to vlogging on YouTube by showing off his $16 million mansion he bought in Dorado, Puerto Rico. And as he showed off all the amazing cars, 8-bedroom house, giant walk-in closets, and his incredible backyard, I couldn't help but feel important. Not because I'm jealous about how awesome the house is or because of success he's had in his career. Okay, maybe it's a little bit of that. Dude, I didn't know I could scam a bunch of little kids into giving me millions of dollars. I would have totally done that. But it's irritating seeing Jake Paul and his brother Logan move into lavish mansions, drive giant pickup trucks on secluded beaches, and brag about armed security on their property, when all this is only possible through the exploitation of Puerto Rican people. And I gotta admit, I'm a little scared making this video because who the hell am I? I'm just some small YouTuber who makes comedy sketches and talks about video games. And most of the time, those sketches aren't even that funny. Hell, I don't even live in Puerto Rico. I've only visited the island a few times in my life. But I have family on the island, specifically my dad, my stepmom, and my 2 sisters. And whenever other content creators bring up controversies that Logan and Jake get themselves into, they only ever bring up Puerto Rico as a side point, as, oh, Puerto Ricans are mad because they're taking advantage of the tax exemptions, and that's it. And no one ever goes into detail. And of course, because no one really cares about Puerto Rico, I guess. It's just the place where Bad Bunny's from. But I think it's really important to know. So I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna talk about it right now. And don't worry, my goofy gamer boys and gamer girls in my audience. I'll make sure to break down some of these tough to understand things with analogies based on video games, so even you can understand it. Why? Cause I love you, you cute dumb idiots. Come here, you're so cute. But this ain't just me hating. The Paul brothers are actually really controversial in Puerto Rico. And to understand why they're so controversial, we're first gonna have to go over Act 20 and Act 22. Act 20 and Act 22 are 2 controversial acts enacted by the Puerto Rican government in order to improve the economic conditions of the island. But they seem to be doing the complete opposite. Now known as Act 60 today, but are still commonly referred to as Act 20 and 22, so that's what I'll continue to call them throughout the rest of the video, are both tax exemptions created to lure wealthy businesses and individuals to the islands of Puerto Rico in order to improve the economic conditions of the island. But doesn't seem to actually benefit Puerto Rican people. Let's talk about Act 20. Act 20 lowers the corporate tax rate from 21% of American businesses all the way down to just 4% for any businesses operating in Puerto Rico that exports their business outside of the island. So if you have a company in Puerto Rico that's main consumer base is outside the island, you can benefit from these tax breaks. And unfortunately, the ability to create a business that can cater to foreign markets is not something that most native Puerto Ricans can realistically achieve due to a number of economic disadvantages that most of the natives face. Most Puerto Ricans aren't gigantic reggaeton artists with fans all over the world. They're normal people working service jobs. So most Puerto Ricans won't be able to receive Act 20 benefits. But at least it's achievable for some natives on the island, unlike Act 22. Act 22 is the more controversial of the 2 acts. Act 22 is a tax exemption that eliminates the need for any individual to pay any capital gains tax. A capital gains tax is what you pay when you make a profit off of investments like stocks, businesses, or real estate. And pay real close attention to that real estate part. That's gonna be important here. And in the United States, you could pay all the way upwards to 37% on capital gains tax. But in Puerto Rico, you go all the way down to 0%. That's right, nothing, nada. You don't gotta pay nothing over here. And you might be thinking, damn, 0% tax rate? Make your money, Puerto Ricans. Get that bag. Dollar bills, yo. Let the rain fall down. Wait, hold on. Stop the Hillary Duff music. What the fuck? Why? Because Act 22 does not benefit most native Puerto Ricans. What do you mean? How can it not benefit native Puerto Ricans? It's a law in Puerto Rico. Act 22 is not available to native Puerto Ricans. What? Yeah. It's fucking bullshit. And I'm gonna have to fucking explain this again, so I'm gonna go to the green screen. In order to be eligible for the 0% capital gains tax of Act 22, you have to have lived off the island at least 6 years before the law was enacted. That means the only people who benefit from Act 22 are most likely wealthy foreigners putting all their money into stocks or real estate or their cryptocurrency empire before crypto crashed. But the repercussions of Act 20 and Act 22 being unavailable to native Puerto Ricans means that wealthy mainland Americans come in and are able to receive all the benefits of living on beachfront properties and making tons of money, while the Puerto Rican people are expected to be the ones to bear the weight of keeping the island stable. Their perspective is coming to Puerto Rico to exploit our resources, leaving very little money, says Toro. In exchange, they do the minimum, which minimally stimulates the economy of one small region. I think it's an unbalanced pact. And the effect of these two acts are seen in many aspects of Puerto Ricans' lives, and one major sector it has had an effect on is the housing market within the island. Since a company can pay so little in business tax with no capital gains tax, it leads to more and more people coming to the island and purchasing houses in order to make a profit. And one of the main ways they do that is through AirBnBs. The amount of AirBnBs within the island of Puerto Rico have grown tremendously since the passing of Act 22. Because of foreign investors' ability to pay 0% in capital gains tax and the low tax rate of moving your business onto the island, this has led many foreign real estate investors to come in and buy buildings within the island for super cheap. And while most people would think, hey, isn't that a good thing? They're buying unused houses and buildings and fixing them up and turning them into livable homes. They're bringing in business by turning those houses into Airbnbs. The issue with creating such goldmine opportunities for wealthy investors with 0% gains tax on purchasing property and creating Airbnbs or short-term rentals is that they are quickly taking over most of the apartment and housing in multiple areas on the island, leaving native Puerto Ricans with less options for places they could buy or rent to live long term. And with fewer options on the market, that means the available housing for native Puerto Ricans becomes more expensive due to supply and demand. That raises the prices of available housing to buy and rent for people in the area. And it's not because more people are moving in to live in cities in Puerto Rico. These houses that were made for people to live in long term are now being bought, taken off the market, and being turned into short-term rentals, aka Airbnbs. While this makes traveling easier for tourists, this makes it harder for native Puerto Ricans trying to keep up with rising prices of housing and rent. And with the island so small with a population of only 3 million people and much of the land taken up by rainforests, that is a major cause for concern.
You can see now that property around this coast is in the millions when it was not like that. And as you're hardly gonna find a Puerto Rican born and grown or growth in Puerto Rico that will afford that, right? Eventually, we're gonna be pushed to the middle of the island.
Let's check out a map of Airbnbs from 2014 to 2020.
No. Wait.
Yeah. That's a lot of red. And this article from November of 2022 shows that there are sectors within cities of Puerto Rico like San Juan, Cataño, and Aguadillas where more than half of the properties are made up of short-term rentals. In Puerto Rico, there are already specific sectors in San Juan, Cataño, and Aguadilla where more than half of the properties are short-term rentals. Meanwhile, in municipalities such as Culebra, Vieques, Dorado, Luquillo, Rio Grande, Rincón, and Arecibo, there are areas where this activity reaches 30%.
$30 al mes por su apartamento. Hoy día las unidades del edificio de la ferretería se alquilan a corto plazo por $150 la noche.
So Airbnbs are slowly taking away homes from Puerto Ricans each year. And unfortunately, Airbnbs aren't even the worst issue when it comes to real estate in Puerto Rico. The ability for foreign investors to avoid paying any taxes with Act 22 has made purchasing housing and land in PR very lucrative. And US investors coming in and purchasing real estate all over the island has led to the rise of a few major issues. 1. Investors are coming in and purchasing properties and sitting on them and not actually fixing up these homes at all. Because it is more profitable for these investors to simply sit on these properties if they don't put any money into the property they just bought and simply wait as the market value of these homes rise with more and more investors coming in and purchasing all the homes in the area. This creates less supply of housing as the demand for them rises. And you can see abandoned buildings' values increase by simply doing nothing.
Look at this beauty in Rio Piedras. We paid $24,000 for it, and we did nothing to it, flipped it for $65,000, and they've done nothing to it, and now it's probably worth about $200,000. Go figure.
All this does is take homes off the market, which leads to less homes available for native Puerto Ricans, driving up the value of those available homes when there are less homes available, thus pricing native Puerto Ricans out of the island. 2. Many of these investors buy these properties at their lowest value. And when do these properties reach their lowest value? Right after a natural disaster.
Ese beneficio, sumado a los bajos precios de las propiedades luego del huracán María, para algunos significó una oportunidad.
So, when tropical storms and hurricanes devastate the island, this leads to real estate vultures coming in and purchasing more property for cheap, usually just to sit on them and make a profit selling those properties when they inevitably go up in price as the people slowly recover and rebuild most of the infrastructure on the island. So you're basically making a profit off of people's misfortune. 3. Investors are not stopping at empty homes. Many investors coming to the island are not stopping at empty, rundown, and abandoned properties. In fact, more and more Puerto Ricans are finding themselves facing eviction, not because they can't pay their rent, but because rich Americans are purchasing their properties they live on, like entire apartment complexes and the land that their houses occupy, in order to convert them into more lucrative personal businesses like hotels and Airbnbs.
This is ridiculous, fue lo que dijo. And the apartments you got, you know how much they would cost in San Juan? Y yo con ganas de decirle, yeah, but that's San Juan. This is Quebradilla. Esto es un pueblo chiquito.
Even public property isn't safe, as even public elementary schools are being purchased and kids and teachers are being forced to leave, just for the investors to turn those properties into business for profit, or again, just to sit on them and do nothing. To give you an idea what this is like, let me try to simplify this for you with cute little chubby island animals. Imagine you finally got your Animal Crossing island to be perfect. You spent thousands of hours toiling away at the streets, leveling mountains, and it's just beautiful. Now you finally got your Studio Ghibli-esque island, or your Harry Potter world, or whatever comfy ass fantasy island you've got in your head. What the fuck? You find this comfy? What's wrong with you, lady? And you finally got all your favorite villagers. You got Lucky, the cute mummy dog. You got Bo, the sleepy little deer. Look at him, he's just so sleepy. And you got Raymond. Everybody loves Raymond. And you even got Anka. I know why you got Anka, you fucking nasty ass. Your island is perfect. You feel a sense of pride in all the work you put into it. You paid off your house with Tom Nook, and it's just a beautiful island. Now imagine some sweaty ass named Giovanni comes in, deletes your save, and turns your island to a bunch of ugly ass Airbnbs. Your whole island gone. Your villagers dead. No more Lucky, no more Bo, and no more Raymond, motherfucker. They're dead. They're gone. You're never gonna see them again. And the only villagers coming to your island are Harold, Beryl, and Lindbergh, looking to start their cryptocurrency empire.
Hey, Elon,
Ew, dude, please get away from me, bro. You smell like fucking ass. Take a shower, please. But for Puerto Ricans, they're not losing their goofy, One Piece inspired gamer girl comfort islands. They're losing their homes. They're losing everything they've worked for, saving up for nice apartments, their community. Hell, they even try to kick out older residents who've been living in family homes for generations.
Doña Ramona says she's being evicted from the house where she has been living her entire life on the coast of Aguadilla. Ramona says the previous owner gave her father permission to build a house on that land decades ago, but they never got a title. And the current owner wants to sell that land forward for tourism development, and they want Ramona and her whole family out of there.
Because these fucking idiots like Giovanni buy the entire apartment complex they live in, or public schools filled with children, and kick these people out just so they can turn them into their own personal business.
He bought the building through his company for $1.8 million in August. First, he thought about turning the apartments into condos, but Rosie says he's also thinking about turning the building into a hotel.
Why did you make the decision to ask them to leave as opposed to being the new owner of this building and continuing to have the current tenants?
Yeah, I didn't buy the project for to own an apartment building. That wasn't like the original intent.
And you may be thinking, why don't Puerto Ricans just buy properties for themselves? Well, that can be really hard for most Puerto Ricans due to multiple factors. For one, the median household income for Puerto Rico only averages around $22,000, while the average household income in Puerto Rico only averages around $35,000. And that's based on one of the latest US census in 2021. Puerto Rico generally tends to rank amongst the bottom of per capita income when ranking all 50 US states and US territories. And more than 40% of Puerto Ricans live below the poverty line. So Puerto Ricans in general make far less money than Americans in the United States. And the types of people coming in and buying property generally have a lot of money to spend. There's a gigantic disadvantage for Puerto Ricans in terms of being able to purchase the properties on their own island, when the people coming in not only have the opportunity to make 2 to 3 times the amount they could make at home. So even if Puerto Ricans wanted to invest in the real estate on their own island, they're competing with real estate investors who have most likely already have a lot more money by purchasing and selling more expensive real estate in the United States. And not only that, but are being given handouts by the Puerto Rican government to buy these properties, while you can't even receive any of those benefits. When it comes to real estate on the island, it's like Puerto Ricans are playing normal ass Monopoly, while the US investors can start with all the money they won in all the other times they played Monopoly and have first dibs on every property. And then I'm gonna put one in the early game domination, States Avenue. And so
Wait,
then,
what are you doing?
oh, I'm putting my hotels down. I can put my hotels down because I won the last 5 Monopoly games, so I can use the money that I got from there.
What is this right now? What's with all that money you have right now?
Don't you know the rules?
Don't you only start off with $1,000?
No, you don't know the secret generational wealth rules. I got the generational wealth tokens, so I can use the money that I got in the last previous Monopoly games. It makes total sense, man.
I can't even buy any property.
No, it makes sense, dude. I won. I got the generational wealth tokens, so I'm already better than you. So I can use all the money that I got from those games.
So if
and then I can
one of your spots, like I owe you all my money?
Yes.
That doesn't make sense.
I'm trying to price your bitch ass out of the island, bitch.
So you're being serious right now?
Yes, I'm being serious right now.
So just
your bitch ass is gonna be priced the fuck out because I can use the money from all those games. Keep crying, you dumb fucking poor bitch. That's right. That's right. Look at all this. I'm gonna make it rain right now, you dumb idiot. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Generational wealth. Generational wealth, you dumb idiot. Generational wealth. And that's not the only reason why Puerto Ricans have a hard time keeping up with the real estate prices in comparison to foreigners. And that's generally because Puerto Ricans have to give up a lot more of their income in comparison to foreigners. Puerto Ricans pay the highest sales tax of any US state, and there is an added import tax because everything on the island needs to be imported. Well, not everything, but most things. Puerto Ricans pay 11.5% on sales and use tax, since almost everything in Puerto Rico needs to be imported. In comparison, the sales tax in California, which a lot of people believe in the US is one of the most tax-heavy states in the country, averages around 8.6% sales tax rate when combining state and local taxes. And while many of the rich investors who are coming into Puerto Rico are also subjected to pay these sales taxes when purchasing anything on the island, Act 20 and Act 22 exclude them from having to pay the outrageous amount of income taxes that native Puerto Ricans are subjected to.
How people that are not from the island, they have their more rights than us. It's unfair. It's really unfair because then we can't do our same thing in our own home. I don't see the equalness.
To give you an idea of how crazy taxes are for native Puerto Ricans, let's compare taxes in Puerto Rico to the taxes in California, which has the highest personal income tax rate in the mainland USA. When it comes to taxes, the more income you make within the year, the higher percentage of taxes you are required to pay. It's a progressive tax system, so you pay a base amount of money plus a tax percentage once your income passes a certain threshold, and it should be reasonable and not totally break the bank each year. So in California, you make anywhere from 1% all the way down to 12.3% if you make over $670,000. And that percentage is only gonna apply to the excess over $670,000. Damn, that's a lot of money to be paying in taxes each year, right? Puerto Ricans have to pay up to 33% in taxes each year in comparison. The Puerto Rican personal tax income rate starts from 7% if you make over $9,000 a year, all the way down to 33% if you make over $61,500 a year. So if you're making over $60,000 a year in Puerto Rico, say goodbye to 33% over that $60,000. And I know this is all very complicated and there's so many variables like filing separate, filing joint, deductions, hiding your money offshores if you're a rich person. I'm trying my best to explain it, and I'm trying even harder not to cry. And native Puerto Ricans are paying all this while the rich investors who keep moving onto the island and buying lavish homes in walled off ritzy areas only have to pay 4% of tax.
They buy a house, maybe don't live in this house, and don't create jobs, and we pay the taxes for the lights, for the water, for everything, and they don't pay that tax. It doesn't matter if you want to come, you need to come with the same law, no special law for nobody.
With the way that taxes are designed in Puerto Rico, native Puerto Ricans have to shoulder a majority of the responsibility when it comes to funding the island's infrastructure and social programs, all of which the foreign investors who move to Puerto Rico can benefit from. And the combination of insanely high income taxes, a high sales tax, a rapidly increasing housing value due to foreign buyers, and the economy not being able to keep up with the inflation on the island due to outside investors, native Puerto Ricans are slowly being pushed out of Puerto Rico because they simply can't afford to live on the island anymore. Toro argues that these new incentives are a new iteration of colonialism that sets a vision of Puerto Rico without actual Puerto Ricans, forcing them to migrate when life at home is unlivable. Furthermore, as history has shown, Puerto Ricans would be forced to once again pick up the pieces if the Act 60 economic bubble shatters. And now that I've explained many of the issues that native Puerto Ricans have to face, it's finally time to start talking about the Paul brothers. It's what you've been waiting for, right? Let's get into it. Logan and Jake Paul are two former Vine stars turned YouTube vloggers turned boxing and WWE performers. They're both very successful influencers with over 20 million subscribers on their YouTube channels and have fought champion level fighters, most of the time past their prime. Speaking of prime, Logan is a co-founder of a popular sports drink brand, and Jake has his own documentary on Netflix where he poses naked. What the fuck? For some reason. Case in point, they make a lot of money between the both of them. And in 2021, Logan Paul announced,
I'm moving to Puerto Rico.
Congratulations. And instantly, a lot of Puerto Ricans started talking a lot of shit.
Logan Paul, a month into living in Puerto Rico. Logan Paul, when he steps off the plane in Puerto Rico. I'm moving to Puerto Rico, Puerto Ricans.
That's so good. And the reason Puerto Ricans started to give Logan so much shit was because they knew the only reason he was coming to the island was to take advantage of the tax exemptions from Act 20 and Act 22.
So I feel like people are wondering why Puerto Rico, right? Yeah. Like how random.
Yeah.
Taxes. It's one vertical.
Yeah.
It's one. It's a big one.
And while Logan doesn't explicitly state, the main reason I'm going to the island is to take advantage of the tax benefits, I think that face says it all.
It's 96% of a big one, which ironically is the same amount of money you keep every year if you move to Puerto Rico.
And now Jake Paul has shown off his $16 million mansion in Puerto Rico, joining his brother on saving thousands of dollars each year. And what's so frustrating to so many Puerto Ricans watching these house flexing tour vlog videos is that it's such a blatant example of outsiders coming into Puerto Rico and being handed everything on a silver platter. While many Puerto Ricans have to fight to stay on the island or have already had to pack up and leave due to the scarcity of high-paying jobs and how expensive it is to live in Puerto Rico due to the inflation that the foreigners are the ones causing.
Jake Paul is like someone that I know from YouTube that moved here recently, and he's like giving a lot of problems here, like buying una mansión, like a big house, and he doesn't pay taxes, so I don't like him at all.
Puerto Rican society is designed in a way where if you come into Puerto Rico as an outsider, you get more out of the island than if you're a local, says Taveras. At the end of the day, that's what colonies are for. And if you look at videos where Logan Paul talks about Puerto Rico, or for example, Philly D's video where he talks to Logan Paul about Puerto Rico, you'll see comments saying just that. And of course, not everyone in Puerto Rico is mad that he was moving to the island. Some were excited he was coming to experience life in Puerto Rico. I wouldn't be surprised if they're a little kid though, since you know that's a big part of his audience.
Hey, Logan!
Logan, oh my god! Logan! Logan!
But I do want to point out some of the good that they've done for the island. Specifically, renovating some of the boxing gyms in Dorado and La Perla that are open to the public and helping out with hurricane relief after Hurricane Fiona. That's fucking awesome, and I hope they keep up with that generosity. But I think it's also important to remember just how the Paul brothers were able to gain so much of their notoriety. Being loud, obnoxious, a willingness to scam others, and being controversial. And I can go on and on simply naming every single controversy that these two have gotten themselves into in the past few years. But that would take quite a bit of time, and to be honest, that doesn't sound like much fun. So why don't we make this a little more interesting, huh? Welcome to Name That Controversy, the game show that showcases our forgiveness for celebrities and influencers simply through the passage of time. I'm Marco, and I'm going to be your host for tonight as we showcase all the controversies of the Paul brothers. And I'm here with our lovely contestants, Kelsey and Andres. Hello, Kelsey and Andres. How are you doing today?
I'm
Doing
good.
all right.
So, Kelsey, what do you know about the Paul brothers?
Well, everything I know about them has been forced upon me against my will.
Very interesting, Andres. What about you?
I feel like I know both of these lovely gentlemen, just like they were my own brothers.
Great, we're gonna have a great game show today. I cannot wait. Let's get into our first question. First question. This brother was fired from his show Bizarre Barks on the Disney Channel for terrorizing his Los Angeles neighbors.
Jake.
That is correct. Jake Paul was the one who was fired from his show Bizarre Barks for terrorizing his neighborhood in Los Angeles, California.
That's right. Let's go.
Question number 2. This brother rode several women like a human bicycle for his music video, No Handlebars, which was not disclosed to the women before shooting, causing one model physical pain.
My boy
Jake.
Logan.
It's Logan Paul.
Let's go.
Andres is correct.
I know my boys. I know him. I know my
Andres
boys.
gets 10 more points. Question number 3. This brother was accused of looting and vandalizing an Arizona mall during a protest, and footage was released on the internet of this brother accepting stolen items from a looted store. Is that Jake or is that Logan?
My boy Jake do like his sneakers, so Jake.
Go, Logan.
The correct answer is Jake Paul.
Woo! That's my boy. I'm telling you.
3 for 3 for Andres. Question number 4. This brother promoted Mystery Brand, a gambling website targeting kids that promised Supreme clothing, Jordan sneakers, even luxury cars, or even a giant mansion, which was not owned by the site. And most of the items were fake, and that's even if the person received any of their prizes.
Wow.
I feel like Jake because his Disney Channel audience was kids.
I feel like it's Jake because Jake loves kids.
And the correct answer is Jake Paul!
That's right. He loves kids. He loves them. He hangs out with them all the time.
Question number 5, and this one is a lightning round. This is the cryptocurrency round. I'm gonna let you know a cryptocurrency, and I'm gonna ask you.
Sorry, I'm shaking.
Excuse me, they have more than one cryptocurrency controversy?
I'm gonna name off a cryptocurrency, and you're gonna let me know if it's Logan or Jake who is the one that promoted this scam currency. The first cryptocurrency coin is Dink Doink Coin. Is that Logan or Jake?
Dink Doink Coin? My boy Jake kind of silly like that, so.
My cameraman is laughing. But you are incorrect. It's actually Logan Paul that promoted Dink Doink Coin with a music video with the stylized graphics of South Park.
You learn something new every day.
Okay.
Next, cryptocurrency is actually an NFT, this time Yummy Token NFT.
Jake loves art, so I'm gonna go with Jake.
I have to go Logan. I haven't picked him enough.
The correct answer is Jake Paul.
He's an artist, Kelsey. He knows art.
I should have known.
Knows.
Next cryptocurrency is Safe Devils NFT.
Safe Devils?
Safe Devils.
I'm gonna go with this was a joint project.
Well, now I can't look like I'm stealing it, so I'm gonna go with just Logan.
The correct answer is Jake Paul.
Do I get half points?
Yes, you do.
What?
But only once. You're not allowed to do that again. I'm not going to give you half points for every
I
answer.
was gonna say, that's kind of like cheating.
Nope. I give her points for creativity, but this time, no more.
White privilege.
But let's get on to our next cryptocurrency, MILF Token. MILF Token NFTs.
Like I said, my boy Jake loves kids, so I'm gonna go with my boy Logan. Logan loves an older woman.
I have to go Logan too.
I'm sorry, the correct answer is Jake Paul.
He's a diverse man.
Yeah.
He likes diverse taste.
All right, and this is a big one. This brother promoted CryptoZoo, an NFT-based video game that was recently exposed as a giant rug pull by YouTuber CopyZilla, and promised to pay back the victims of the scam, but still has yet to do so even 6 months later. CryptoZoo.
My boy Jake loves kids, so it's gotta be Logan.
That is correct. It's Logan Paul that promoted CryptoZoo. I'm not even done with the NFT questions, but you know what? We're gonna just head on past it because we'll be here for way too long.
So many.
Question number 6. This brother filmed himself along with controversial YouTuber Sam Pepper lassoing random women and only allowing them to be let go after they kissed him. Most of the women in the video did not seem to consent.
Jake doesn't like to abuse women like that, so we're gonna go with Logan.
That is correct. It's Logan Paul. Both of you get 10 points.
Jake just respects women, you know?
I just think Logan's older. Sam Pepper wasn't around when Jake was doing his thing.
Didn't know that.
He's like one of the original, like, most hated YouTubers. Like, he was actually run off the platform.
Oh my god.
I think. Yeah.
Learning things today.
Oh yeah, Sam Pepper. Oh. Question number 7. This brother promoted Edfluence / Team 1000 online education courses, a fake online influencer course where you can learn to become an influencer, which did not really help anyone, to be honest, and pretty sure Team 1000 was a giant scam that never actually formed. And not only that, they eventually promoted a financial freedom educational video source that had the same issues with the Team Edfluence 2 to 3 years later.
I'm going Logan. He just seems like the kind of guy who's like old enough to be interested to be a finance bro.
See, I'm gonna go with Jake. Jake cares about education, and you can't prove that it's a scam. So Jake cares about people's education.
And the correct answer is Jake Paul!
That's right. He cares about the people, and you can't prove otherwise.
Why are so many of these Jake? Like, he's making Logan look not horrible.
I've been telling you.
I can make the Logan look horrible. I just haven't.
We haven't gotten there.
yet.
We haven't gotten there. He's got like 50 questions. We haven't
That's
gotten
true.
there.
That's true.
What am I, like 2,000 points already?
Yeah.
Question number 8. This brother faked being shot to death by a shotgun so well in front of a gathering of young fans that many of them couldn't figure out if it was a prank or if they actually witnessed a murder.
Like I said, my boy Jake likes kids. He'd never traumatized a child like that, so this has to be Logan.
I'm going Jake.
And the correct answer is Logan Paul.
I'm so mad.
I'm gonna get here right now. This motherfucker was completely lying, saying he knew. He knows nothing about these guys, and he's putting all of them right now.
I'm doing great for a guy who doesn't know anything about these guys.
Well, yeah, you know them like a brother.
And you're making up. You're making up a personality trait
I have this narrative going on of who these people are in my mind right now.
that actually is working. Question number 9. This brother's home was raided by the FBI, and multiple firearms were seized from his home.
My boy Jake is a Second Amendment stan. He stands for America, and it was him.
The correct answer is Jake Paul.
Thank God.
Question number 10. This brother faked not one, but 2 marriages for views on YouTube. One with other popular YouTuber, Tana Mongeau. Tana Mojo. Is that how you say her name?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
I find it hard to believe any brother did this, so I'm just gonna say Logan, because I don't choose him often.
The correct answer is Jake Paul.
Wow, Jake, you bored. You knew that one real quick. I was like, well, I can't steal that answer.
It's so few that I actually know.
That's fair, that's fair.
Question number 11. This brother's sports rehydration drink has recently been under investigation by the FDA for having the caffeine equivalent of 6 Coke cans while being heavily marketed towards children.
My boy, Jake, loves children. He wouldn't do that to them, so this has to be Logan.
I'm following his answers at this point.
The correct answer is Logan Paul.
That's right. Jake loves kids. He'd never do that to them.
Question number 12. This brother filmed and uploaded a video to YouTube, a very controversial one, that takes place in an infamous Japanese forest.
If you know, you know.
Jake is about nature. Jake loves the outdoors. This was Jake.
The correct answer is... You know what? It doesn't even matter at this point. Do you not realize how many controversies these two have gotten themselves into? Like, I've got almost 40 controversies here on my phone that I can answer a question. I made a whole game show about this. When are we gonna realize that maybe these people are not actually good people? Why do we keep letting them get away with this shit? While most of the things we covered previously doesn't necessarily pertain to Logan and Jake Paul, since they're not real estate investors, at least I hope they're not.
It literally was this empty space of nothing, and that's what I love about real estate and interior design.
Uh-oh, but I do want to cover one thing when talking about Logan and Jake Paul, and that's the way they talk about Puerto Rico. Because I feel the way they describe it feels very different from the way a Boricua would describe it.
Zoning in twice a year for 4 to 6 months. It's nice, and it's nice to do it in Dorado, aka fucking heaven on earth.
Logan Paul is completely right that it is heaven on earth. And that's specifically because this rich neighborhood is designed to exclude anyone who isn't rich and walls off a section of Dorado and its beach. And in Puerto Rico, all beaches are supposed to be open to the public. Beaches are not private property. The beaches are supposed to be open for everyone on the island. The beaches belong to the people, but the beach Logan and Jake have access to are private, not because it's private property, but they have locked access away from Puerto Rican citizens with giant barbed wire wall and having the beach blocked off by giant stones that are dangerous to try and cross.
But yeah, it's very peaceful here.
And I haven't even gone over how poor other sections of Dorado are, specifically the sections not walled off near the Ritz-Carlton area.
Los barrios tienen las calles chavadas y está más que en los barrios, pasar por las principales urbanizaciones cerradas, no hay ninguna calle chavada.
Fernando drove me around to show me what he sees as 2 different Dorados.
So, extrema pobreza en un lado y extrema riqueza a la derecha, como que divididos por una pared gigantesca.
So when Logan says Dorado is heaven on earth, he doesn't mean the entire county of Dorado. He means the segregated area that has been walled off exclusively for rich people is heaven on earth.
We are in Dorado right now. It's a 2,400 acre estate. It's a bit secluded. You have to have a house here, and if you're a member, it's pretty pricey, and it's an expensive neighborhood.
I love how nonchalant they talk about this stuff. Like, it's a bit secluded. It's like a rich area, and you kind of have to have a pass in here by being a millionaire. But it doesn't mean like the poors aren't allowed. We just don't want them to get in here.
Literally, it's like a little oasis, and everyone here drives golf carts. It's like a giant game of Mario Karts for adults.
Yeah. In your rich neighborhood, the locals gotta drive on these banged up streets with potholes everywhere. And oh my God, there are potholes everywhere.
And I think this is why we sleep at night. Birds are chirping, the frogs are giving me kisses from the tree. Like, and there's like security everywhere, and everybody else is way more successful than me. So I'm like, if anybody's gonna do the robbing, it's me. I feel pretty peace.
Safety.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not, I actually felt that too.
Yeah, dude, I feel at peace at night knowing that there's armed security walking around my property. Dude, I catch the fattest Z's, dog. Like, it's actually so relaxing. I start to miss it when I'm away from Puerto Rico. Like, when I'm away, I like to listen to those 10-hour playlists of like relaxing noises. My favorite is the one of armed security shooting at trespassers at night.
I think it's over here. Hey, you were trespassing.
Oh, sorry.
You better get out 5 seconds before I start shooting.
Wait, hold on.
5,
Just, wait,
4,
calm
3,
down.
2, 1.
Oh my god, run! Oh god, run! You shot me in the arm! Derek, no! The most fat Z's you can imagine, dog.
The old me would have loved driving around this gold golf cart. Now I'm like, fuck, it's fucking gold. Fuck. Like, people are automatically like, oh, this guy's fucking.
Wait, it's Dorado, right? Isn't that land of gold or something?
Dorado means gold, yeah, because the sunset.
You're driving Dorado.
I know, but
yeah, dude, Dorado, land of gold. You know, everyone is rich here, you know? Even the poor people on the other side of the wall that is secluded from us, you know? They may not be rich financial-wise, but they're rich in invaluable life experiences, you know?
It's getting crazy here in California, you know, paying taxes. And for what? Because the potholes in the streets are not fixed. Homeless people everywhere. A dearth of employment.
Dude, it's the exact same in Puerto Rico. The thing is, you get a tax exemption. You don't gotta pay those taxes. You don't have to worry about that. But the people there have to worry about that. They have to pay those taxes for nothing to get done.
Logan Paul moving to Puerto Rico in order to benefit from the tax breaks and tax exemptions whilst fucking over the housing market and promoting neo-colonialism. Does this look like the face of a neo-colonist?
I don't know. Maybe if I saw his face on some signs at a protest about how the natives are being pushed out by colonizers, I could see it like that. Yeah, that looks pretty convincing to me. Basically, the main thing I wanted to highlight in this section is how goofy it sounds when they talk about Puerto Rico. They talk about Puerto Rico like how they have all the money in the world, they drive golf carts everywhere, and they're all set on life. But is that really the Puerto Rican experience? Like, has Logan and Jake ever experienced going to a lechonera and seeing a pig skewered out in the open in the kitchen and crying because you feel bad for that pig, and then you just can't eat your lechon and your dad's yelling at you for it? I'm sorry, Dad, it's right there, I can't eat it! Or driving through a small town with the roads that barely fit 2 cars, and this whole place is like a maze, and you pass by the same house multiple times with the viejitos sitting out on their porch, and they're laughing at you because they know your ass is lost. Or driving through the mountains with those small ass roads, potholes everywhere, no railing, and you look down to the town below you and those houses look like little doll houses, and you come to the morbid realization that if you swerve off the road just a little bit, you're dead. You're gone. Dude, there is no saving you. You're plummeting to your death. Dude, it's so scary. It's like Puerto Rican Rainbow Road up there. And there's no turtles on clouds to come and bring your ass back up to the road. Probably because Logan and Jake ran over their babies.
Go, hit faster.
And within the past year and a half of Logan and Jake living in Puerto Rico, have they ever talked about the food at all? Oh my god. Dude, the food is so fucking good. Alcapurrias, empanadillas, yuca con mojo, totones, almarillos, tripleta, mofongo, pernil, churrasco, coquito, arepas. Oh my god. Please, take me back to the island. I miss the food. And dude, as a Californian, I fuck heavy with Portos and their guava and cheese pastries. I was just in Puerto Rico a few weeks ago and I had a pastelito from a little stand in Patillas. And after I took that first bite, I was devastated because I knew I was stuck with Portos. Dude, this pastelito blew Portos out of the water. And now I know I'm cursed with the knowledge that I'm stuck with pastries that can only harness a fraction of the sweet guayaba flavoring that could be put together inside a flaky breaded exterior. No. Why would Jesus do this to me? Are you even there? If you are, why would you do this to me? No. Ultimately, what's so aggravating about listening to Logan and Jake and all of their friends talk about Puerto Rico is that it's the tale of two very different Puerto Ricos. Because the Puerto Rico they describe, where they're driving around in gold-colored golf carts, hanging out by the pools right next to the beach, and having people write down their orders on their forearm, golfing at the golf courses next to their house. That is not the same Puerto Rican experience native Puerto Ricans have. A Puerto Rican would probably describe how beautiful their island is, the colorful buildings of old San Juan, the amazing food you can get at a small corner stand by the beach, being able to go to the beach anytime you want, people coming together to play the bomba and plena music and dance with musicians, the struggle of getting through Hurricane Maria, Irma, and Fiona. Hell, they might even talk shit on the politicians who are making the island a giant Airbnb hellscape and complain about how there are potholes everywhere or how there's so many goddamn power outages. But all that's culture. That's community. And the Puerto Rico that they describe.
Yesterday we went to the pool like that was next to the beach.
Yeah.
And nobody drives like regular cars.
Everyone here drives golf carts.
Just an amazing neighborhood and community.
They're describing a resort, a 5-star hotel, a place where you go for a week to just fuck around and drive golf carts, drink piña coladas by the pool, and just try to forget about your shitty life. And what's scary about that is the more Logan Pauls and Jake Pauls, hell, the more Giovannis that come in and bring their business to the island, take advantage of Act 20 and 22, and make life harder and harder for Boricuas to stay in Puerto Rico, that culture is going to disappear. And Puerto Rico is going to cease to be a home for so many people, for so many Puerto Ricans. And eventually, the way that Logan and Jake talk about this rich little segregated area in Puerto Rico is going to be how you describe the whole island, because it's just going to become one giant resort.
I don't have hope in Puerto Rico. El gobierno is really bad here. It's hard living here.
¿Verdad? Y cuando tú llevas ya 30 años viviendo en un mismo lugar, tú creas unas relaciones con la comunidad.
I always loved, to have an apartment with ocean view, and I got it here, but now I lost it. Now it's lost.
The people can benefit from the outside coming in, but not the people here. My parents were forced to leave for job opportunities.
Vamos a ser extranjeros en nuestra propia patria.
At the end of the day, we are all like one people. We're all united.
Again, Phil, I'm on this show because I feel like the anti-Logan narrative that is developing on this island is getting a little too much fire for me to completely ignore.
Even though I made a super awesome game show that showcased all the controversies that Logan and Jacob got into, and it was super well received, and the ratings were through the roof, and I'm getting so many calls from networks who want to buy my show, I do want to start off this section of the video being a little more empathetic to Logan and Jake. I tend more often than not to trust people at their word, and it's gotten me into a lot of hot water in the past. And there's a lot of things between Logan and Jake that shows that we probably shouldn't do that. But when Logan talks about how much he loves the island and how much he wants to help, or when Jake shows off these renovated boxing buildings that are completely open for the public in Puerto Rico, I hope that they do this because they want to help, not because they want to look good for the camera or for tax purposes. I truly hope that they want to help.
I'm obsessed with this place, and I don't have the answers as far as what I can do to help, what the balance is in terms of equalizing the opportunity I've been given and how much I'm giving back. And so I would turn towards people who know much more about this island than I do for the answers.
The thing is, you're never going to truly be able to equalize the opportunity you've been given by trying to give back to the people of Puerto Rico. You can donate to charities, you can try to give back all the extra money you've made from Act 20 and Act 22 and give back to the people of Puerto Rico, You can try to equalize, but that's just putting a band-aid on a leaky hole on a giant ship, when so many other bad actors are coming in and putting their own hole all over the ship. Trying to fix the harm of you living on the island and saving that money and putting it back into Puerto Rico can only do so much when there's so many other bad people coming in and putting their own holes into the already sinking ship. Basically, Puerto Rico is the Titanic and the Puerto Rican people are the ones stuck at the bottom of the sinking ship. And as long as you are there for the too good to be true tax benefits for the wealthy mainland businessmen and the investors who are there to come and exploit, Puerto Ricans are going to continue to be evicted from their homes, continue to struggle to keep up with the rising costs of living on the island, and are going to continue to be displaced and forced to leave their home of Puerto Rico. And Logan, you moved to the island 2 years ago knowing you could avoid paying taxes. And Jake, you followed not too long after. It's most likely you're still benefiting from these tax exemptions that Puerto Ricans can only ever dream of receiving. And to many Puerto Ricans, as you both sit in your multi-million-dollar mansions in the rich segregated area of the Ritz-Carlton paradise, drinking piña coladas by your pool, driving around with golf carts and just fucking around, you're only ever going to be the poster boys of colonization. We don't tell them not to come here because we don't want them to visit us to learn about the amazing things this land has to offer. That's not it at all, says Alexandra Maria Figueroa of Taller Salud, a community-based feminist nonprofit about the influx of Act 60 beneficiaries. What we want is respect. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Now you know why Puerto Ricans hate the Paul brothers so much. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I wanted to specifically highlight two creators on this end credits. One, Bianca Graulau. She's an amazing Puerto Rican journalist, and she has some great video essays on her channel here on YouTube. And she also made a fucking fire documentary on Bad Bunny's El Apagón music video. So if you look that up on YouTube, you can see that too. It's so good. A lot of the visuals I used here, I just kind of took from that video and some of her videos on her channel, but I tried to transform it. So please, Bianca Graulau, please don't hurt me, don't sue me. I really tried to make it transformative because I love your work and you already made it so damn good. So I just kind of like used it again, but I did try to put in more information. So please, yeah, again, don't sue me. I also want to highlight The Near Horizon. It's a YouTube channel here on YouTube. A lot of the direct interviews with Puerto Ricans I got from that channel, and it's super small, but if you want to hear from Puerto Ricans directly, you can check out that channel too. It has a lot of videos on stuff like Act 22 and a lot more about Puerto Ricans and what they have to deal with foreigners, so go check them out. It's super awesome. Again, I used those videos in this video, and you can see from so many more perspectives on their channel as well. It was so good. Go give them some love. And other than that, if you liked the video, leave it a like. It will help it with the YouTube algorithm. And if you thought I was funny and you want to hear more from me, or if there's other topics you want me to cover, let me know. And subscribe if you want to see more from my dumb face and my dumb funny jokes. Other than that, I'm gonna go because this video took me 3 months to make and I'm tired. I want to sleep finally, okay? So I will see you next time. Peace. I shouldn't say peace and then like do finger guns at you. I just realized. All right, but I'm gonna go, bye.